see. Sorry guys, I'm a tiny bit late. I was trying to scarf down some food, and then I noticed that OBS was being really weird. It wasn't displaying my monitor right, so I had to adjust a few things, but I think we're good. Let me know how it looks. I'm gonna make a quick announcement and then we'll get going. Hello. I had the I had the stream open on another tab too. Okay. Live streams. Can see everything and hear everything. Thank you, Fox. I appreciate it. Okay, cool. Oh, I need to get my reference up. So, I've realized that my little doggy, I think she knows when I'm on stream. I think she knows when I'm live streaming. And now she likes to bark when I'm live. So that's pretty cool. She only does it when I'm streaming. She has not uttered a word the entire day until right now. Yeah, she wants to be a streamer. Maybe she does. See if I ignore it, maybe she'll quiet down in a second. We'll see how it goes. If not, I'm gonna have to ban her to the living room. Smugsy, she's jealous. She wants all the attention. Yeah, I bet that's it. How am I doing tonight? Pretty good. Today has been a day. The latter half of the day was a little bit stressful because I was trying to block in a scene for work, and Blender just kept crashing. Every time I switched over to cycles, it just decided to blink out of existence on me, so I had to do a bit of a panic troubleshoot to try and get that to work. I didn't really get it to work. I had to revert to an older version of Blender, which isn't like ideal because I would like to taking advantage of whatever new stuff is out there. But it stops it from crashing, so maybe they'll have like an update or something in the future that will get rid of that. But other than that, I'm good. Doing pretty well. Banishment for the pupper. She have to be careful. She has to be a good girl. My cat also wants attention. Oh yeah. Tricera. I think my cat knows that too. They behave differently when I'm streaming instead of just being on Discord. Yeah. Yeah, like I was playing a game with some friends for his birthday last night, and I was talking, chatting, making all kinds of noise here, and she did not say anything. So, who knows? Smogsy, oof, yeah. I was looking into ZBrush earlier and was sad to learn it was subscription based. Yeah, that is a thing, unfortunately. Have you like, do you have Blender or Nomad? Nomad Sculpt is a single purchase, I think. What dog do I have? She's a little Chihuahua. Here, if I can capture her, I'll show you. She like does that thing where she pretends to want to get up, and then you go to reach for her, and then she runs away. Does that stuff a lot. This is Tifa. This is the troublemaker. She's a Chihuahua Dachshund mix. Hello. No kisses right now. Sorry. Yeah. She likes running around, causing havoc. We have two others, but they're not in my office normally. They're with my wife. They're much more mellow than she is. I have Blender. I prefer free whenever I can. Yeah. Yeah, I have all three. I have ZBrush, Blender, and I have Nomad. They have a desktop version out now. I started like poking around in there, but I haven't really committed to doing anything. So I do want to learn more of that. I also want to sculpt some stuff in Blender too, just to compare. As long as Blender works for me, of course. Hey Jesse, how's it going? What am I working on? I'm working on the Tropeognathus model for Echoes here. I am close to like finalizing all of the skin details. I'm just going back over the toes and the claws and stuff. Because that's pretty much the last area that I need to detail out. And then I can start in on feather stuff. So all these little finger pads and toe pads need to get some scales and stuff like that. So that's what I'll probably be working on tonight. She is extra tonight, yeah. Am I adding word to the clause? Yeah, I'll do a little bit. Like little nicks and scratches and stuff I will do. But I probably won't go as crazy with it as I normally would for like some of the renders I do on other models. On those other models, like the ones that the models that I don't have to worry about optimization for games and stuff, I will go pretty like dirty and damaged with the claws. Especially if they're like on theropod feet. I really like taking those and distressing them a lot more. I have like full folders full of cassowary and emu and other like some like birds of prey, just their claws and their feet, all the scales and stuff on there. I would say it's probably like, I'd say for me it's probably some of the harder parts of a dinosaur to sculpt are like the feet, but they are also like some of the most enjoyable parts. Especially if once you're done, they look nice and detailed and stuff. Feed the puppy roll. She's had dinner. Yeah, there it goes. I had to call backup. Now she is in the living room. Fur feathering is probably going to be a bit of a chore. It's going to be a learning experience for many of us on the team, I think. I was talking to Furious about it last stream a little bit. What I think I'm going to have to do is I'm going to like there's a technique that we want to try that I think will look good, but it may not be conducive to the level of performance that we need. So we're going to test that, but just in case that doesn't work, I'm going to prepare an alternate method of doing the feathers, and you know, that way we have like a backup plan and we're not like scrambling to figure something out. So I think either way it will look, you know, we'll make it look cool and we'll make it work. It's just, I want to see, I'd like to see if this method that we're thinking of is going to do well. So it's a little bit of testing, I suppose. Okay. I think I have these nice and... I think I'm going to have to make a quick alpha for this. Because I want these to have like very fine, like very tiny scales. Kind of like you'd see on... I'm looking at duck feet here. They're kind of like little pebbly scales. I'm also looking at... I think there's a penguin. This is a penguin's foot that I'm looking at. But the skin texture on that seems pretty appropriate. So I'm going to try it on here. I just want to get the shape of the claws nice and refined and established too. Claws can be kind of hard to wrangle into shape. Justin, my perception of time is absolutely obliterated and forgot you had a stream Monday. Oh, no worries. Yeah, I did have a stream Monday. It was my first live stream on my channel. I think it went pretty well. I kind of took a while to like explain what I was doing, because it was like the first part of it was kind of just like a show and tell, kind of setting up what the stream is going to be about and what the project I'm working on is going to be about. So that took a while because it's an older project of mine that I started in 2012. And it's just been it's always kind of popped into my mind off and on, you know. It's like one of those projects that I wanted to get back to and finish up. So that's what I'm focusing on there. But I made some pretty good progress on it, I feel like. There's lots of things. I think the hardest part about like my personal projects is just trying to define like a good stopping point. Because I mean, there's so many things you can build off of and keep going on. Like I need to find a good like resolution, I guess, to what I want out of the project. So I'm trying to define that and then just kind of update the project a little bit. I can show you real quick. I don't want to distract from Echoes, but I do have it here. I was working on it today. It's it's an old design challenge that I was part of on CG Hub. And the design challenge was to create a creature that would live on, like, in the oceans of Pandora. And this is 2012, keep in mind. So we had no idea what the Way of Water was going to be, or what animals were going to be in there, or like anything about it really. We just heard like a rumor, or maybe James Cameron had like an interview or something where he might have said that the Way of Water was going to be mostly in the ocean or something, but that's basically all we had to go off. It's the oceans of Pandora. So I was trying to figure out a creature that could live in Pandoran oceans, right? And still feel consistent with the rest of the animals in the ecosystem. So that's what this guy is. He's my attempt at doing that. You can see, like, I did this, his mouth opens and stuff. That's what I've been messing around with the past couple weeks on him. And he's changed quite a lot, like in the body shape, because now, of course, we do know we've seen the Way of Water, right? And like the animals that are in there. So I've got a little bit more information to work with, and I'm trying to incorporate some of the design language into that guy. So I want to do that, and then like actually I think the final for him will be just like finish the sculpt, get some really nice looking colors on it, because I think the color for it is going to be really fun. And then probably do some nice renders or something, like some cool underwater renders or compositing, and then call it good. Move on to another project that I have in mind. I don't know how long it's gonna take. But I hope the stream will help me get some of that stuff done. Kind of like Spec Evo, yeah, Justin. Although, yeah, I'm trying to figure out, like, I've been looking at a lot of the designs for Avatar, and like it is very grounded, and I love the designs, but there are some decisions in the designs that are like hard to kind of track, like evolution wise. So I'm trying to I guess just pick my sources, right, and then like figure out what exactly. I think my creature would probably be most like the Ikran. Maybe it's like it was like an ancestor of the Ikran, or maybe it's like a species of Pandoran creatures that used to fly, but then kind of like re-entered the water, kind of like penguins or something, or seals have done for us on Earth. And that's why it kind of looks more like an Ikran than anything in the water, really. I mean, the closest thing that it would look like on Pandora, it would be like the Elu. So that's another thing. But yeah, I don't know. I'll probably like think about it more and like figure out exactly what their little evolutionary path would be and what their niche is. Kind of stuff I think about while I'm sculpting, and I actually should like write it down because a lot of it just kind of is amorphous in my mind, and it'd be helpful to probably write it down and kind of start solidifying some of that. Tricera, sadly I realize it's 3:30 already. Need to sleep. Glad to join at least for a bit. Super interesting as always. Gonna watch tomorrow. Okay, no worries, Tricera. Have a good night. It's super late, so yeah, definitely get some sleep. Topics already. They need to release those art books again like they did with Kong. But the Art of Pandora or something. The What a Workshop books. Oh yeah. That's I don't know if I told you, but I actually I got a hold of the Kong Skull Island book. That's like one of my books that that's one of the books that were like on my list that I was kind of trying to hunt down, you know. But they're out of print and they're like super expensive. But I did find one. I think it's probably on one of my other bookshelves. I would I'd grab it if it was close by, but yeah, it's probably on one of my other bookshelves. I'm trying to kind of keep it safer than the other books I have, simply because it's like it was so hard to get. But I'm pretty happy with it so far. It's really cool. Another book that I've been really wanting to track down is well, the first Avatar book, Art of Avatar, is kind of hard to come by. It's a big, thick, hardcover book, and it's all blue, of course, and it has like one of the Avatar's faces on the front. But I didn't pick it up when the movie first came out, and now it's kind of hard to find. So that one, and there's a book, the Expedition book from Wayne Barlow is another one. There's a couple Wayne Barlow books that I would like to get, but I think they're out of print. So I've just been keeping an eye on eBay. Sometimes they pop up there. Sometimes they are they're still kind of expensive, but you know, it's kind of my only option really. Just kind of waiting to get lucky and see something that I can get. You have the Art of Krampus. I don't think I've seen that movie. I didn't know there was an art of book either. -1. Hey, thank you so much for the donation. Hello, the crowdfunding make it. We are gonna have a lot more EOE in the future. Yeah, that's exciting, right? Crowdfunding was fulfilled. Or we met our goal, and yeah, I'm excited to see what that'll bring for the team. Yeah, so I think I'm going I'm gonna save this really quick. I want this kind of like little ridge of bigger scales on the backs of these claws. And then I'll have a bunch of smaller ones on the sides. The game is going to improve and I can't play it for 4 months. Oh, really? Well, I mean, on the bright side of things, right? When you do come back to it, you'll have a ton of like new content to sort through and experience, right? So it'll be it's kind of might be a long wait, but you'll you have a lot more to dive into once you return.
I vape, but I don't like it.
Hey, can you guys see me now? I hope. I wonder if it automatically reconnected. Let's see. I'm gonna launch ZBrush and all this other stuff. See if I can get back to where I was. Okay. Well, let's see how our quick saves did. Okay. I hope looks like it's got my screen and stuff like that, so I hope you guys can see me. That's kind of annoying. I apologize for that. Yeah, I don't know what happened. How do I manage my quick saves? I only allow it to save a max of 10. And I skip the history. So that way my files don't go too crazy. Usually, I mean, I haven't really had a problem with it biting me in the ass, you know. Sometimes I get kind of unfortunate. That did happen to me on stream once, where I lost the, like, I don't know, maybe an hour of work, but that was my fault because I was a big dummy and I cleared out the quick saves, and then it crashed after I cleared them out, so there was nothing to revert to. So I kind of dug my own grave there, but generally 10 seems to be enough for me. Otherwise I just like forget to like, I forget that it's like filling up with quick saves in my drives, and like I'll just have like a full drive of huge files. So I just restrict it to 10. Okay. So I'm gonna go and actually do what I was gonna do anyway. Plain. I want like one little scale that I can use. It hiccuped. Are you talking about the stall that I had there, or did it do a different thing? Is it still acting up? Kivarsha, hey, how's it going? How are you doing? Let's see. I will use my layer brush. I'll just grab the dock. That's not the right guy. This is the guy. It's been a stressful week. My younger daughter accidentally cut her hand open and had to run to the urgent care. She's okay now. I've also been working on several different dino skins. Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear about your daughter. I hope she's okay. That is very scary. Both my sister and I have had similar experiences to, I think, what your daughter went through. Except mine wasn't on my hand. I actually hurt my lip pretty badly when I was a little kid. Oh, Justin, you okay? I see your Krampus images. Those are some really crazy designs. That like weird clown guy in here. Yeah, I have not seen that movie at all. I kind of like that there's a bit of a tradition of like creepy movies on Christmas, you know? I think that's pretty fun. I mean, classic like Nightmare Before Christmas, right? That comes to mind. But I've noticed that they have been showing creepier sort of movies around Christmas time as like I don't know, it seems like they make a big deal of it. I think this year it was like Frankenstein was released around Christmas. And then I think the year before was Nosferatu, if I remember correctly. I did go see both of those. A 70, 72 on a scale of 1 to 100%. What would you say Tropio at? Are you talking about like completion? Like 1 to 100% of like my part in it, or like being all the way in game? Because if we're talking about it being in game and like playable, then it's probably not very high. If you're talking about just my little bit of it, as far as like sculpting and getting it ready to get animated and stuff like that, we're about maybe a little bit around, a little bit over the halfway mark, maybe, or about at the halfway mark. So I don't know, this might be interesting. I'm going to go through a little bit of a process here to create it's not going to be like a tileable texture or anything, although we could do that. But I don't want to, I won't go through that extensive of a workflow, but I am going to build out a little bit of a texture here. What part of the trope was that? It looked like a pelvis. No, this is the feet. The feet and the hands. It's just, I'd have it isolated so I can sculpt and not have the rest of it be in the way. But it's just the feet and the hands that I'm working on right now. I'm getting some textures ready to detail out this area. I'm just making a little sheet of scales to create an alpha. So I'm going to make one scale, and then, I mean, ideally, these are so tiny, they're going to kind of average out, I would say. Normally, I would say it'd be good to make like several variations if it were a bigger texture. But they're going to be very, very small. So I don't think I need to worry about it. If it ends up looking too repetitive, I may do some more. So I made one scale, and I can use this scale to drag out multiple. How big is a full-grown trope going to be compared to a human? I do not know the exact size. What I can tell you is a human would be about as tall as the head. Like if the human could lay down alongside the head, it would be about that big. At least that's how it is in the concept. Approximately. Should actually get one of the human models into the scene for scale. So humans are bird food? Maybe, yeah. I don't know if the Tropeo is supposed to be like I mean, of course, if you wanted to, I suppose you could do a lot of damage to a human. But I don't think that's like their main function. I think they're mainly going to be like going after fish and smaller dinos. There's a lot of irregularity happening already, I think, without needing to add more variations to the scales. The way they're interacting on the edges kind of helps with that. It's going to be a poo hunter. Good luck. I mean, I bet if you're skilled enough, you could probably harass a Peru. And yeah, maybe that's going to be like a challenge or something, right? I mean, I have seen very, very small dinos in other games, of course, but I have seen very small dinos be a pretty big problem for larger guys. So, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm just talking like from a design standpoint. This is why we love store morph targets. Yeah, exactly. This was like, once I figured out, well, I didn't figure this out on my own. I saw there was a tutorial on ArtStation of there was an artist who was making a chameleon, and they showed in a video how to do the store morph target little trick here that I'm doing. And once I saw that, like, that was, it's one of those moments where like it's just like gold. It's like finding gold. So I really like using this technique. I've done like whole dinosaur faces with just this technique. I know people who have done full models of just like dragging out scale by scale. I don't think I'm that crazy. I don't think I can deal with that, but I will make a little sheet full of them and stamp them around. The tropes that I see people play in Path of Titans literally dive bomb to their deaths. Oh man. Like on purpose. The Puru is a problem because he can just go into the water. Tropeo will make mapping so much easier. You mean like learning the island or learning the map itself easier? You're one of the ones that do it scale by scale. That is right. You did do. I remember you showing me some of your stuff. Yeah, I don't know if I can do that. I admire the people who do that because I think it looks awesome. Yeah, I think the most that I've done, I mean, I say that, right? But then I have also like I haven't dragged out full body scales on a whole dinosaur, but I will draw, like I'll draw them out in Substance Painter. Maybe also not the full body, but like good big portions of the body, and then I'll use that as a map in ZBrush to like extrude them. But yeah, I don't think I've ever done the full body. I'm not as hardcore as you guys. How many hours do I have invested in Trope so far? What stream is this? It is stream. What title was it? I forgot. I can see the link here. 18. It's a little bit over 30, right? I'd say a little bit over 30, because like on stream, I'm not like 100% working like the whole stream. There's times when I'm just talking or looking at stuff, looking stuff up, stuff like that. So yeah, it's probably a little less than what the stream time is, but it's around there. It kind of tracks, because like to get a fully detailed high-res model, I would say it would take me about a week if I was doing it like 8 hours a day, for 5 days. I'd probably have it done. If you condense the time down, so that's probably around there, considering where I am with the model right now. So it's about on par with what I expect from my pace, you know. But that's how, like, if I could work on this like full time, just nonstop sculpting for the week, the Tropeo model would be done in a week. And then there'd be like maybe another half a week to maybe a full week for textures. And then I would be handing it off to animation. And then you would be on to the next model. But because of like I only work on this for streams, so I only work on it a total of like 4 hours a week, right? So 4 hours a week, so it gets expanded, the time frame gets expanded. think this would be, I don't want the edges to be super like regular. So I'm gonna kind of make it a little bit amorphous. I'm gonna flatten out some of them too, so that way they're not totally like super round. And then we'll just take another grab dock. So you can see those are my scales there. And then we'll come back to the Tropeo. That's the one thing about this. If you don't have backface masking on, it'll get that nasty stuff going. So I should have had backface, but it's lucky that I have a morph target. So I gotta make sure that I turn that on. Backface masking. There we go. Have to mask off these claws really quick. Probably turn down the intensity because that's a little too, it's a little much. Do I have? Yeah, I have. The only thing with this though is if I hide parts of the mesh, for some reason the morph target stuff kind of breaks and it doesn't work anymore. I don't know why that is. I'll mask this other finger here so it doesn't catch any of that detail. Yeah, it's a strange like time thing, right? Because even the Peru that we finished on stream, I think there was like, man, how many Peru streams were there? There were a lot. But if you condense the time down, it would only be a couple of weeks of work. guess that's why it'd be great if the game were supported by more people, because we could actually get stuff out in quicker time frame, because you could have more people focused on the game more of the time. That's the advantage to that. Texture work is coming along fast. Thanks. Yeah, these little taking the time to do these little textures really starts to speed things up. Especially in an area like this where it's so tiny. It's like if you look at this area of the Tropeo compared to the rest of the body, right? It's such a tiny little space. It helps to be able to cover it in like dense-ish detail, but not take too much time to do it. There is a little bit of time investment like ahead of time, right? Because I am like taking a little bit to map out these scales, but the time it saves me afterward is pretty quick. I mean, it saves me a good chunk of time afterwards. Thanks, Moxie. I mean, I feel kind of lucky with this texture. Normally, I have to go back and forth a lot. Normally, like, I'll do a texture on a sheet like that, and then sometimes I'll drag it out on the model, and I'll realize that I like hate it, and I'll have to redo it. But this feels pretty good. You can always go back over it with more like wrinkles or more subtle kind of textures to get the detail. Because sometimes you can really tell that it's like duplicated, like it's a stamp, right? And the whole point of it is you want to cover the area, but you don't want people to like obviously see where the stamp was, you know? So there's a balance to strike right there. I think this texture does well so far. Oh, Kivarstra sent me some of their textures. These look pretty cool. Pretty sweet. I like this blue one. Should the scales on the back of the finger be wider? You think not much wider, but a bit more coverage for the back of the digit? Possibly. I mean, you could do it that way. The reference that I had pulled up was like a duck, and it had this like the scales closer to the toe, like the toe claw, were larger, and then they gradually got smaller as they went up the foot. But I bet there are ducks out there that have the exact types of scales you're talking about. So it could be I could maybe try it and see how it looks. Oh, like chicken feet? I see what you mean. Yeah, I was trying to stay with like the semi-aquatic, you know, kind of theme. But you never know. Nature does weird things all the time. Stuff that you would expect it to do, it doesn't do. So I don't think it would be out of the realm of possibility to do that. Morph. Kivarsha, I like what you did with the little textures there. Thank you. Yeah, this technique with the morph target is really such a time saver, because if you were gonna do this with a regular alpha, like if I did it with the like a displacement brush, this is how I used to do alphas before I learned this trick. If I drag this over, you see how it completely destroys, it like completely ignores the previous detail that I had there. It overrides it. It like, this nastiness happens here. It's not good. I remember I was working on a coelacanth. Where the heck is it? It's an older model of mine. Maybe I have it on Instagram. But yeah, that was before I learned of that, like this technique. I was working on this coelacanth, and I literally had to. It was like a whole process to get these scales. To get these scales to look this way. Like I had to mask out the scale, then I had to like pull the scale out of the surface, and then I had to like sculpt the overhang, and then I had to like, it was a whole thing. Like this thing took forever to do. But if I had known this little trick with the the morph target, it probably would not have taken that long. Because the hardest thing about the coelacanth was like when I pulled out, would pull out another scale on the body, the edges of the scale would catch the outsides of the surrounding scales, and it would completely destroy the feel of like the scales and the flow. So I would have to go back in and like touch up all of those little spots, and it was a huge pain. So those were all hand done because it was just easier than cleaning up all of the alpha artifacting. Ooh, what is that? What is that happening there? So yeah, I mentioned earlier in passing, I guess, that yesterday was one of my friend's birthdays, and for his birthday he said that he just wanted to just hang out and play some games. So we grabbed this, I guess it's like a newer game. I think it's called Yap Yap. Have you guys heard of it? It's kind of like Lethal Company, or like what's the other one? Repo, where you're like cute little guys that are going into like basically like a dungeon, and in Repo and like Lethal Company you're like taking stuff out of the dungeon to get like money, but in this one you're destroying it because you're like little wizards, and you're going into a rival wizard's castle, and you're just like trashing his house basically. But the funny part about it is like, so you're little wizards, and it's all like voice. These games usually have like what's it called? You can basically talk to each other in game, like you can hear each other, and it's like echoes and stuff. But you actually have to say the commands for your spells. So you're like shouting out these names for the spell to activate, and you're like shooting like tornadoes and stuff everywhere, and like fireballs and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. Yeah, we got ourselves into quite a bit of trouble in there. Because there's crazy spells too. Like, you can buy different wands, and one of the ones that I got, you can shrink people. Like you can shrink your friend down, really tiny, and their voice gets pitched like super high. There's like silly ones like that too. So it's pretty, like, one of my friends turned me into a fish, and you can ride the fish like a skateboard. It's pretty funny. Yeah, but I thought it was a pretty creative little game. I can see it being very popular. I think it already is. It's called Yap Yap. It's all one word. Yeah, but I think it really got me. Like, it goes to show, like, really good, like, simple ideas can go really far in game design if you just execute it creatively. You can have a really successful little game on your hands. Who said Yap Yap? I love Yap Yap. Yeah, I was playing it last night with some friends, Kivarsha. We were screaming out all those spells at each other and running around. I played it, yeah. It was 4 of us playing. Exactly, Fox, yeah. It's reverse repo. I was really surprised. Like, I mean, I like all of those games. I played all of them. Lethal Company, Repo. They're really fun. But I think out of all of them, I was looking at the monster designs for Yap Yap. I think they're really cool. I think they're probably my favorite monster designs of any of those games. I do like that that like kind of retro, like PS1 sort of aesthetic as well. PS1, PS2 kind of look. Yeah, I think the repo ones are they're I don't know. I guess just kind of weird. I mean, they function in the game, right? And like they are pretty scary. These ones look, I guess I would say, like a little bit more cohesive with the world. Because it's like a fantasy setting, right? It's like a fantasy world where you're in the wizard's castle. So they all feel like they're actually like a little bit Souls-ish, Dark Souls-ish, but they feel like they would be in a wizard's castle, you know? Like they feel like fantasy based, like whereas like Repo can be a little bit they're kind of all over the place. Like you have like there's like a big marshmallow man, and then there's like a big head, and then there's like, I don't know, like an alien worm, and then there's like an old man. You know, it's fun. Like, don't get me wrong, it's totally fun. I still had a great time in there, but yeah, I think I wouldn't say it's like cohesive, you know. I think that's probably what I'm more getting at, I suppose. I think maybe I lean towards cohesiveness in games. I enjoy that. Something looks like it's supposed to be there, you know? You can subvert that too sometimes and get good results. That was just my reaction to it. We played for like a couple hours last night. I don't know how big that game is. But I imagine we'll go back to it and have some fun in there. Kivarstra, I gotta go to bed. Have a good night. Thank you, man. I'll see ya. Have a good night. Oh, it got full release 2 days ago. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought it was pretty like a pretty recent update to the game. So just coming back in and I'm adding a little bit of a layer of breakup on top of it, just so sometimes when you add these textures, they kind of overwrite some of the previous texture that you had on it, and I just like to reinforce some of that. I had this sort of wrinkly texture on here. So I just want to add back some of it. I gotta come back to this. And then I gotta hide the this bit here, so that way it doesn't overlap. There we go. You saw my yawn. Yeah, it's like I don't feel tired. It's just I don't know, when I'm talking a lot, maybe I have that sort of reflex. Like, this is like the most I talk like all week, I think. Like, I'm a pretty quiet person. It's crazy because like, I mean, my wife is much more extroverted than I am. But she can her voice like carries a lot more, and like she can talk and like still preserve her voice for quite a while. Like I cannot do that. I noticed that like I can maybe go just about the length of stream before I start losing my voice. When I did some cons, because I used to go to a few cons, and I would table there, talking to the people approaching the table just over the weekend. Like my voice was just destroyed afterwards because it's so loud in the con, and my voice already doesn't carry, so I'm like screaming just to like speak at a normal volume to somebody, you know what I mean? And yeah, my voice was just gone by the end of those. And my wife was perfectly fine. I will try, I'll try your suggestion, Smogsy, on the scales here. Make them a little bit wider and see how it feels. I'll put it on a layer, and we'll turn it on and off. See how it goes. Wanted to go someday to one of the cons, but I would not understand anything at all. Just so loud. Yeah, they can be kind of an assault on the senses, I think. I did like going. I like seeing all the art people do. It's a good way to, depending on the con, it's a good way to network too. As someone who, like, I say I'm introverted. I very much am, but I used to be really, really introverted. Like, I used to have a really hard time talking to people, and going to cons, especially the ones that are more like networking focused, really did help me like come out of my shell a little bit more, like because I do believe that, like, I guess being social or like networking is like a skill you can work with, you can like get better at, but for me it's just like, it's like one of the hardest skills to work on, you know, because it's just so, it's kind of scary, you know, putting yourself out there and like meeting total strangers and like trying to like maintain a conversation can be really hard. Can be very anxiety inducing, you know. But I think I've gotten somewhat better at it. I won't say I'm like the best, but I'm way better than I was before. Like, I don't think I would be able to do this. Like, if I were like the version of me like all those years ago before I started like really trying to get better at it, I don't think I'd be able to to be here and talk to you guys for this long. I think I would just like panic and leave the stream. I don't like the con crud. That is bad. That is the downside also. Con crud is not good. Really like the look of the bigger scales on the fingers. Yeah, the trouble I'm having is like my brush won't go any smaller. So I like to get on the surface in there and like get the surface nice and smooth. Oh. No, I'm not talking to you, Siri. But my brushes won't go that tiny. I might have to scale this up. That's probably another reason why the alphas are good, because they can go super small where my brush can't go that small. What shall I do? What can I do? Because I don't really want to scale it. Because if I scale it, it's going to get out of whack with the other model that I have in Blender. We'll see. I'll probably just try to cope right here. These ones are probably the ones that need to get bigger. Let's see. I'll do maybe an alpha. I can expand them to the side a little bit more. My scale liner might help. Huh, what can I do to this? Here, we'll try this. We will scale it up. We'll scale it up. Maybe about 2 times the size of the normal. And then we'll sculpt on this layer. And then I'll scale it back down by turning off the layer here. And in theory, it should snap back to the original size, but keep my new details on that. I hope. Wild Nugget, hey, how's it going? I could set it as a stage so I can swap back and forth. How do you do that, Justin? I don't know if I've ever I don't know if I've worked with stages. Let's see. I'll give you a look at the trope. His fingers are gigantic right now. Let me turn that off real quick. So he's coming along pretty well, I'd say. Let me turn off the subtool dimming. The last couple of streams, I've been working on the face, getting all those details going in there and fixing the teeth interlocking. And then today I've just been working on the hands and feet, and we're getting the scales looking good in here. Trying to get the details refined. In Geometry tab, you click Stager, then hit Home Stage in your original size. Scale up, then in Target Stage. Then you can swap back and forth whenever you want with the switch. Oh, okay. So it's like changing scales on the fly. Let me see. I'll try it. I'll save before, because I'll probably screw it up, and then and then I won't know how to go back. Let me try it. That sounds cool. Geometry tab. Click Stager. Stager. In the Geometry tab, you mean? It wouldn't be up there. It'd have to be here. Stager. Hit Home Stage. Okay. In your original size. Scale it up, then hit Target Stage. Okay. Scale the whole thing. Like, can I scale the whole model? And then click Target Stage. Switch stages. Oh, I see what you... Okay. Okay, cool. Does it do that for the other guy though? This one? Or do I have to do it for individually for each subtool? That is really cool. I like that a lot. I don't have to do it for each subtool. I can just do it for the hands though. That'll definitely work. Yeah, that's cool. I did not know you could do that. Okay, cool. Thank you. Let me get rid of these layers. I don't know if I... Home stage. Let me do this one more time. Make these bigger. Target stage. Where was I working? It was over here. Oh, right here. Cool. Oh, I gotta add a layer. I wonder if the layer is gonna screw stuff up though. Oh. Got a nice autosave right now. Um, Nugget looks amazing. Love the marking a lot on around the snout. Shows a nice rough toughness to him. Thanks. Learning something new every day. Yeah, especially with ZBrush. There's so many ways to go about it. I just do it when I need to. I just do it when I need to do detail and such, and the brush is too small. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, that's a really good use case for it. That's awesome. Thank you. That works really well. I do think, just to make my life simpler, I think I screwed up. Switch stage. I think I need to get rid of my layers. Home stage. This is also how I learn stuff, guys. Like I have to do things like 3 or 4 times to let it sink in. Or else I'll totally forget it. Cool. Yeah, I'm always surprised by, like, I've been using ZBrush since 2012, 2011. So it's been a while, but there's like, well, of course they're always adding things. Like every year they add something else that you can do in it. But even without that, even without those additions, there's so many little workarounds to do for certain things, or like, yeah, there's just multiple ways. The person that I probably learned the most ZBrush stuff from is probably oh man, what's his name? I was just watching him today. He was streaming on ZBrush. He was streaming on Pixelogic's channel on YouTube. Man. Well, anyway, he's like, the epitome of that. Like, he'll tell you like, okay, we're gonna do this one thing, and then he'll start doing it, and you can say, oh, you can also do it like this, and you can also do it like this and like this, and he'll go through like 5 different ways of how to do it in like, I don't know, a very short amount of time. It's kind of overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. I think his teaching style, although like I have learned a lot from him, his teaching style is very fast, and like I think it's way too fast paced for me. Like I literally have to slow him down. You know how you can like go into YouTube and like turn down the speed of the video? I literally have to do that when I watch his stuff. asking about the full release of the game. I don't think we really know that, right? Yeah, so Ace Man, we just finished with we wrapped up our Kickstarter not too long ago, like within the last week, I believe. The Kickstarter was successful. Like, we raised our goal, but it's gonna be a while before we have even like an official launch like plan, right? Like a, what would you call it? Like an official launch day. So unfortunately, like we don't really have that answer directly for you. We have the tech demo, which I think you can play right now. And that I think we'll be updating. Oh, tech demo ended with Kickstarter. Okay, sorry about that. I thought it was like an ongoing thing. If you're on Patreon, can you play the tech demo? I think I need to make this mesh even bigger, to be honest. I don't know if I have even enough space right there. So I might need to... That's so cool. Because it still has all my details there. That's awesome. I think I need to make it way bigger though. Justin, if you're still there, that saved me like... I think I'm going to be using that a lot. Because there's so many times when I run into this situation where, especially with game meshes, because the mesh that I'm using right now to detail, it needs to line up 1-to-1 with the low poly mesh that I have in Blender. And if it even like shifts even like a little bit, it can screw up the baking in the texturing phases. So I like when I run into this situation, like I've usually just been kind of like dealing with it. But what you showed me tonight was really helpful, so thank you again. Yeah, because now I can get in here and I can clean up all these little... There is some like artifacting that happens with the method that I'm using. with the like the layer brush and the morph targets, but it's way more, it's way cleaner than the normal alpha stuff that I used to use. No autosave. Michael Pavlovich, that's the name. Yeah, you just reminded me of it. He had an IKEA last name. Yeah. Yeah, he's the guy that I learned. Like, if anyone in the chat is wanting to learn ZBrush stuff, he will teach you 50 ways to do one thing, so you can take your pick. Okay, I was hoping to get further. I mean, we did get pretty far. I was kind of hoping I could finish the hands tonight, but I have a little bit more cleanup to do. But I think that's where we'll probably end the stream tonight. Yeah, thanks everyone for popping in as always. Really appreciate it. Thanks everyone who was helping me tonight figure stuff out. I don't think I have anything special going on over the weekend, so I should be here on Saturday doing more Tropeo stuff. Yeah, I think that's all I have to announce, or very quick little announcements. I know someplace you can set your switch stage to a hotkey, so you can just jump back and forth. Oh, really? That would be really nice. I'll hit you up on Discord, Justin, and maybe you can help me out with that a little later. But yeah, thanks everybody. I will see you on Saturday. Have a good evening, or good morning, depending on where you are. I'll talk to you soon.